She stole people's beauty, but you won't believe what happened next. You would have never believed that this young beautiful girl on the screen is actually 108 years old. She stole people's beauty and youth, converting all their age into herself. But what happens will shock you. This story will teach you a valuable lesson. In the quiet village of Umuoke, where the evening wind carries secrets, lived a woman called Coco. Her age was a mystery, but everyone whispered that she had crossed her 100th year. And yet, she looked no older than 25. Skin as smooth as silk, lips full and pink, waist still curved like a river bend. Her eyes had no crow's feet. Her laugh bore no cracks. Her hands steady, soft, graceful, too soft, too untouchable by time. But no one asked, not because they didn't wonder. They did. They wondered every time she walked past, hips swaying softly, her curly hair glistening under the sun like it was mixed with gold. They wondered when she danced at weddings, her energy matching the youngest of girls. They wondered when she wore tight wrappers with a boldness no old woman should have, and how her face never aged, year after year, season after season. But they never asked, because those who got too curious either left looking older than their mothers or didn't live at all. And so people smiled politely, bowed slightly, and called her Mama Coco. She ran a small hair salon, a quiet wooden room at the back of her compound with cracked mirrors, faded posters of 90s hairstyle, and an aroma of hair cream mixed with something no one could name. Every young woman who visited came out looking more beautiful, their edges laid perfectly, their braids tight and neat, their glow undeniable. But days later, something would change. They would get tired, their bones will ache, their skin will dull. Some developed gray strands, others just disappeared from the village, entirely never to be seen again. If you were lucky in her hands, you would roam the village looking 60 years older than your age, with wrinkled skin and aching bone. And the unlucky ones in her hands were just rendered dead, as all their energy and life source youth were sucked out of them with no mercy. People whispered, but only when the wind was loud enough to carry their voice far away from Coco's wall. What the villagers didn't know, what they didn't dare to believe, was that Coco wasn't using beauty secrets or special screams. She was draining their youth. The source of her power was hair. Coco had long discovered that a woman's strength, her essence, her bloom, it lived in her hair, especially when it was alive, thick, curly, full of dreams. And with her fingers, soft, gentle, and deceptive, she would take it. Each braid she wove was a silent ritual, each cornrow a slow siphoning, each twist a trap. Over the years, she had harvested life from dozens of women. Her most powerful harvest, her own daughter Nnenna. Nnenna had grown to be more radiant than even Coco in her youth. A soft smile, laughter like wind shims, hair so full it looked like the sky could rest in it. But Coco was scared. She was losing her glow. Her charm had started to fade. She could see the faint lines near her eyes, the shadow of age creeping in. And so, one rainy night, while Nnenna was asleep, Coco braided her hair. By morning, Nnenna had aged 40 years. Her skin sagged, her teeth loosened. She died by sunset. Coco wept at her grave, but not from grief, from guilt and fear. She knew she would never stop. Her granddaughter Chisom was next. That one ran. She had caught on too fast, felt the ache in her bones after a simple hairstyle, washed her hands, wrinkled in the mirror. She screamed into the streets, her voice cracking. "She's a thief. She stole my youth. Look what she did to me." Her face aged beyond belief, terrified the villagers. But even then, no one dared to accuse Mama Coco. Chisom was sent away in silence. Then came Ada, 17 years old. A glow to her skin, like sunlight, kissed it directly. Hair so thick and full, it seemed a breeze could lift it like a crown. Her smile could light a dark room. Her laughter could heal wounds. Ada wasn't like the other girls. Most of the village girls spent their days gossiping, visiting herbalists, and attending traditional ceremonies. But Ada was different. She loved books. She read old stories about places beyond the hills and rivers of Umuoke. She believed in dreams that stretched farther than the nearest market square. Ada even ran a small library at the edge of the village. A dusty little room filled with tattered novels, worn-out Bibles, and donated school books. Children would gather there after chores, sitting cross-legged, while Ada read to them about distant cities with glass towers and bright lights. Most importantly, Ada was a Christian. In a village where ancestral worship and herbal rites ruled the hearts of many, Ada clung tightly to her faith. She read her Bible under the stars. She whispered prayers before sleeping. She wore a tiny cross on a chain around her neck, and Coco watched her. From the first moment she saw Ada dancing at the harvest festival, laughing, her hair bouncing in the sunlight, Coco knew this girl was different, full of life, full of dreams, full of the exact kind of energy Coco could feed on for decades. But Ada was cautious. Her mother, Mama Ifeoma, had warned her, "Not everyone that smiles at you wishes you well," she said, pressing a protective hand on Ada's head. "There are ancient things in this world, child. Some things only God can save you from. Be careful whose hands touches your hair." And Ada listened at first. One evening, Ada and her best friend Amara sat under the old almond tree outside the library, their conversation soft in the fading light. "You know Mama Coco can make your hair look like a queen," Amara said, twirling a strand of her own newly braided hair. "You could come with me next week. Everyone is going." Ada frowned, closing her Bible gently. "I don't know. Mama says I shouldn't let just anyone touch my head. Besides, I feel strange about all these herbal things." Amara laughed. "You're too uptight. It's just hair. Besides, Mama Coco is sweet. Everyone loves her." Ada smiled faintly but said nothing. Deep down, a little unease pricked her heart like a thorn. Coco was patient. She didn't rush. Instead, she began a slow dance of kindness. She would pass Ada small gifts, ripe mangoes, sweet yams from her farm. She would greet her loudly in the market, praising her beauty, blessing her loudly for all to hear. She would come to the library with little children in tow, pretending to encourage learning. She became the doting Auntie Coco everyone trusted, and slowly, Ada's guards fell. Maybe Mama Coco wasn't so bad. Maybe she was just misunderstood. Maybe the stories were just fear passed down like old superstitions. Finally, one warm afternoon when Ada's mother was away visiting her sister in the next town, Coco struck. Amara had just gotten her hair done, fine cornrows, sleek and perfect. "You have to come, Ada," she gushed. "She's so gentle and so fast. Come now." She said she has a free slot this evening. Ada hesitated. She glanced at her Bible lying on the shelf. She heard her mother's voice whispering, warning her in her head. But Amara was already tugging her hand, laughing. And Ada, young and curious, full of that dangerous yearning to belong, she followed. The beads at the entrance of Mama Coco's salon clinked softly as Ada stepped inside. The room was dim, the air thick with the sweet, heavy scent of melting hair cream and something else, something metallic and old. The cracked mirror on the wall caught her reflection. Wide eyes, nervous smiles, hair tumbling down her back in wild curls. Coco turned from behind the corner and smiled. A slow, almost too smooth smile. "Oh," she said, voice like silk, "you finally came." Ada nodded shyly. "Just something simple, please. Neat braids." "Of course, my child." Coco called. "Come, sit." A simple candle flickered beside the mirror, its flame swaying in an unseen breeze. Coco's fingers twitched with excitement. She could feel it already, the pulse of life under Ada's scalp. The strength, the dreams, the hope, it surged through the air like electricity. This was it. This was the harvest that would sustain her for another 100 years. Coco smiled wider, picking up her comb. "Relax, Ada," she said soothingly. "You are safe here." Ada sat, and as Coco's hand touched her hair, a strange chill ran down her spine. The sun had begun to set when Ada left Mama Coco's salon. At first, she felt fine. Her scalp tingled lightly, the braids tight against her head. Mama Coco had tied colorful beads at the end, and they clinked softly with every step Ada took. She smiled faintly to herself, feeling beautiful, feeling grown. But as she crossed the village square, something shifted. It started with a dull ache at her back. Then her knees trembled slightly, so slight she thought it was nothing. By the time she reached the first fork in the dusty road home, her chest felt heavy. Her arms, which had once moved with easy grace, now swung stiffly at her sides. Ada stopped walking. The world tilted for a moment. She pressed a hand on her forehead. It was burning hot. Confused, she stumbled forward, heart pounding. Back at Mama Coco's compound inside the dim salon, Coco sat hunched over a blackened clay pot. Inside the pot lay a single strand of Ada's hair, carefully coiled. Around it, Coco had poured oils and herbs no one in the village dared to name. She whispered under her breath, voice dry and cracked like old leaves. "Ye spirit of youth, ye spirit of bloom, drink and feed. Take her light, take her years, seal them into mine." The pot hissed, smoke curling up like phantom fingers. Coco's body shivered violently, and then her skin stretched smooth again. Her eyes, once clouded with rage, her eyes, once clouded with age, shone bright and young. Her lips plumped, her hands steadied. She laughed a sharp, wicked sound. She had done it. Ada's youth was hers. Ada staggered into her house, barely managing to push the door open before collapsing onto the floor. Her bones felt too heavy for her skin. Her hair, which had been full and soft, now felt dry, brittle at the touch. Her once bright skin seemed to lose its glow by the second, as if an invisible hand was wiping away all the beauty she had carried. Tears welled up in her eyes. "Mommy," she whispered hoarsely, but there was no answer. Her mother was still away. Panic set in. She crawled towards the table where her Bible sat, but her fingers trembled so badly she couldn't grip it. "I should have listened," she sobbed. "Oh God, I should have listened." Desperate, she pulled herself to her feet, swaying like a newborn lamb. Maybe Amara could help. Maybe Amara would know what to do. She didn't even finish the thought before dragging herself out the door. Amara's house was just 2 compounds away. Ada stumbled there, nearly falling twice. Villagers she passed barely recognizing her. They only saw a figure, bent and frail, an old woman in a young girl's clothes. She banged weakly on Amara's door. "Amara, please open the door, help me." The door creaked open. Amara appeared, but Ada gasped. Amara was no better. Her hair had thinned to wisp. Her cheeks had sunken in. Her back bent under an invisible weight. She looked 50 years older in just a few hours. "Ada?" Amara whispered, her voice hollow and broken. "It's too late." Ada collapsed into her arms, sobbing. "What happened to us?" She cried. "What did we do?" Amara's tears streamed down her own wrinkled face. "Mama Koko," she whispered. "She took it. She took everything." The 2 girls, barely recognizable anymore, clung to each other, rocking slowly like leaves battered by the storm. But deep inside, Ada knew no prayers could undo it, no doctor could fix it, no tears could bring it back. Her life, her dreams, her beauty, her future, gone, taken strand by strand, just like her mother had warned her. If only she had obeyed, if only she had stayed away, if only she had listened. Back in her compound, Mama Koko sat before the mirror, admiring her reflection. Her youth was restored, her cheeks glowed, her waist curved again. Ada's death was whispered about in the village for a few days. A tragedy, they said, a mystery they muttered, but no one dared say more. No one spoke of Mama Koko. No one mentioned the salon. Fear had sealed their mouths tighter than grief ever could. Life in Umueke moved on as it always did. New harvest, new marriages, new babies, new olds. The old secrets stayed buried under the dust and the mango trees. And Mama Koko, she thrived. Her skin glowed even brighter now. She still lived in the same weathered compound at the edge of the village. She still ran her little salon, and every so often, when a girl wandered into Umueke, full of dreams and life, she would smile so swiftly and call unto them, "Come, my child." She would say with a voice like honey, "Let me make you beautiful." And somewhere deep in the village winds, if you listen carefully, you could still hear Ada's voice, faint and broken, whispering a warning that came too late. Don't let her touch your hair. But only few ever listened. And Mama Koko, she is still there, still beautiful, still waiting for her next victim.